I don't really want to lower the back anymore because I got all this belly here at the moment, so I think what I'll try and do is hit on the belly, and then I can always come in to match it if I need to. But I'm trying to get things thin now. These are not maybe inward hits. That was almost an overshot. Shoot up again. And see, this is where, if I was careful, like some people, I would be isolating platforms and trying to get a little bit of extra run and a little bit of less stress on the piece. Extra run, less stress. And trying to get the end thin and straight and configured like I want it. Because always in theory, I'm going to be attempting to put a couple of notches on there at some point. There are a number of different kind of tang knives, by the way. And you can find pictures of them pretty much all online. And there's definitely a number of different kinds. Base tangs, corner tangs, and back tangs. Okay, so what I've done here is I've isolated there, kind of there, and there, trying to make the edges of these platforms weaker so that the hits will make them go further a little. You get allergies out here. Alright. First I want to do one on this end, and I want to really hold my work carefully and support it carefully, and I went to a lighter billet. And Georgetown can usually take the lighter higher speed. I did it. That fixed that. It seems like there's just some stuff that's hard to show you and hard to explain. The order in which I do these flakes sometimes matters quite a bit. You ask yourself, why am I doing this instead of pressure flaking it? Well, number one, it's easier to choke on a pressure flake and not get it to go as much as was needed. And once you start getting stuff to the dimensions you want it, like with your tip and stuff, you don't want to just keep going back again and again and re-hitting it because you're not getting a thickness off or something. I just try and hit it once effectively. It's getting thinner, fairly straight. It doesn't have a bow in it to speak of. But it does still have some thickness in it to speak of. Okay, now this continuous platform is a little below the center line, which is fine, but it's rolled over a little bit and it's got the sharp edge on the bottom. So I'm going to bevel that edge with this to kind of raise it back up a little bit. Then do the same thing on the top. And it looks like it's overground, but I'm still wanting to hit some pretty decent flakes here, because I still have considerably more thickness than I want. And you say, well, aren't you getting down kind of close to your final shape, sort of? Yeah, sort of, but I keep my edges fairly thick so that I can attempt to continue thinning as long as I need to get the result I want. Crunching up on me. All right, now this is an important flake here. Kind of okay. That was a good flake. Feel it kick. When it kicks but don't gouge, it was a good flake. That's getting fairly light. A lot lighter than it was. Getting a little dry looking too, though. Some Georgetown is like that. Probably should have worked it towards one side or the other, but I had an issue with the shape and all of it to start with, so I really couldn't do that. Getting lighter, so I need to be more careful. Easier to break it. As you get better able to thin stuff, and you got to get better at everything. It's funny, about the time you start getting good at not breaking things, you get better at thinning and then you start breaking things again. Now at this point I'm not worried so much about my flake scars, and I'm going ahead and opting for more thinning with pressure and pushing in with the pressure pretty hard. This does not look like a traditional tang knife. but oh well. It's fairly long and it's fairly thin and it's fairly gonna have a tang. Yeah. All of those things. Be back.